For that, let's bring in ABC News senior legal correspondent and analyst Sonny Hostin and jury and trial consultant Jo-Ellan Dimitrius. Good morning to you both. And Sonny, I want to start with you. As the former prosecutor, what's your take on this jury?
You know, juries are, as TJ mentioned, loath to convict police officers, especially because it's counterintuitive for many jurors because they feel that police officers' role is to protect and serve. And I think that is why you see so few police officers being held to account when you see the death of unarmed black men. I think that this jury is a diverse jury. We're talking about 7 women, 5 men. We're also talking about a racial diversity. And I think that's going to be important because we do know that there is a difference in the experience of policing when it comes to different racial groups. And so I suspect that race will be a factor in the jury room.
And Jo-Ellan, what strikes you about the jury?
Well, first of all, I concur with Sonny on her overview of the jury. I would also say what's unique about this jury is that in jury selection, what we saw was each side picking what's was picking those people who believe in law enforcement, those people who probably are Caucasian, those people that are older, those people who perhaps had businesses or were concerned about businesses being burned down, whereas the prosecution was looking for what's traditionally a defense jury, and they were looking for probably people of color. They were looking for potentially lower socioeconomic levels. So that's what's first very uniquely different about this jury.
Sonny, the jurors have 3 charges to consider. So how do you see that playing out as they deliberate?
You know, they're going to be looking at second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and also second-degree manslaughter. The second-degree manslaughter only requires culpable negligence. So that is the least culpable charge. And I think it's going to give them the opportunity to reach a compromise verdict, because there may be some jurors that feel like second-degree murder, third-degree murder, those are sort of depraved mind charges. They may not be able to get there because of some of the factors that are at play here. The fact that there's a police officer, former police officer, being charged. So I think that rather than jury nullification, where you see a jury say, you know, nope, there's no way I'm going to hold this person responsible, when you have a lesser charge included on the charge sheet, perhaps you have a meeting of the minds and you have a jury reach that sort of compromise verdict.
Jo-Ellan, are there other factors outside of this case that could influence a jury?
Oh my goodness, absolutely, and I'll point to 4 of them. The first is the fact that there was the civil settlement between the city of Minneapolis and the Floyd family of $27 million, even though the judge has told them throughout the entire trial not to read or listen to anything related to this case. You know, it'd be pretty tough to avoid that. So that's number 1. Number 2 is the fact that just over the weekend, while these jurors were not sequestered, one of the defense witnesses had a severed pig's head delivered to a home that was his former home with blood on it. That's rather disturbing. Third, there was the Dante Wright shooting also late last week, literally miles away from Minneapolis. And you've got the shooting of the 13-year-old in Chicago. So even though they may not be paying attention specifically to things revolving this case, they're going to be hearing about these other components. And I've said from the very beginning, this jury has to be very concerned about their own security bottom line.
Good point there. And Sonny, what signs would you be looking for as far as jurors asking questions?
Oh gosh, this is the worst time for lawyers, by the way, trial lawyers. You're sort of like reading tea leaves when jury questions come in. I think you're usually looking for perhaps a question for the readback of testimony that's favorable to your case. You may be looking for clarification for jury instruction that you think is favorable to your case, but ultimately it's all in the hands of the jury at this point, and you feel pretty helpless as a trial lawyer.
I want to thank you both for joining us this morning. We really appreciate your insight.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here. to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.